Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Maureen, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my pattern review and thoughts for KnowMe pattern ME2054, which is this pattern by KnowMe Style. I actually made View B. I have not made the hoodie yet, but I want to talk about View B because I feel like there's a lot of curiosity around View B, and also I've been seeing it a lot on my timeline on Instagram. So I know that there's a lot of people who probably want to know a little bit more about this pattern before they get into it. So at a first glance, these are cargo pants, and they actually have a wrap tie here. There's like a wrap feature here. And then there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 pockets. So basically 5 pairs of pockets, 10 pockets, with 1, 2, 3 sets of them being cargo with the flap over them. And then you've got twist ties at the bottom. So there's a lot of details in these pants, and I've been seeing a lot of comments, and I've even commented that this pattern actually comes with quite a few pieces. But I think that you also have to look at it like, okay, but do I have to make all of these pieces? Are there ways that I can adapt? So where you get a lot of the pieces coming into is honestly, I would say the waist here, and then obviously your pockets, right? Here are the suggested fabrics for View B: chambray, chino, cotton blends, linen blends. I personally made mine out of a tan bed sheet that I got at the Goodwill earlier, like August or September. And then as far as the amount of fabric that you need, for the sizes, which is really like a size 10 all the way up to a 38 wide, it could be basically anywhere between 3.5 up to about 5 yards of fabric. 3.5 if you're using 60-inch fabric, 5 yards of fabric if you're using 45-inch fabric. I actually cut out a 24W, which gave me a waist measurement of 39 inches. So I went by my waist because frankly, I have put on a little bit of weight, so my waist has gone up a little bit, and that actually gave me a lot of ease in my hips. So my hips are about a 44 right now, but it gave me about 4 inches of ease in my hips because it is 48 inches around. So these pants, while there are a lot of pieces, they are actually very easy to put together. I actually didn't even watch Kichi's tutorial. Sometimes for me, I like to challenge myself to maybe just soak in the instructions and actually go about it that way. And I have to give myself a pat on the back, because this is no slight or shade to anyone that has a mental disorder or any sort of like cognitive or brain or learning disorder, but sometimes I feel like I see things backwards, almost like dyslexic. And I've never been diagnosed with dyslexia, but I know for me, things that have a left and a right, and like sometimes the mirror images, and sometimes actually I avoid patterns with wraps all the time just because of that fear that I'll mix the pattern pieces up. And so I use this as a challenge or a brain exercise for myself to see if I can keep up with the wrap part. And I'll be very honest with you, I was so happy that I was able to keep up with it, and I was able to do it the right way, because I have come a very long way, believe me. And it's something that I work on a lot when I'm working on sewing patterns, like I said, that have wrap pieces or have one left, one right. And to be honest with you, this whole outfit is one left and one right, because the shirt I'm wearing has one left and one right. This shirt doesn't have like mirror pieces, it has opposite pieces, and the same thing with these pants. So this was altogether a real challenge for me. So let's talk about the wrap front. So the wrap front is actually secured by a couple of different notions, and this, when I saw the wrap front, I'll be honest with you, it reminded me of the Zadie jumpsuit. This came out maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I made it twice now, and a lot of people complained about how on the Zadie jumpsuit there was no security here. It was like a flap and good luck. So when I saw the flap again, I was like, I like these pants. I wonder if there's anything behind the flap. And luckily there is. So the wrap piece is actually secured by 3 things. there is a zipper in here, there is a hook and eye right here, and then you have your D-rings. So there are 3 ways to keep you in these pants. So I'm actually wearing them right now. Honey, I'm in these pants. I'm not coming out of these pants. And when I sit down, there's not like a big gaping hole with the pants. So we're good. I will say though that my zipper on these is gray while my pants are tan. So I have to be mindful of when I do sit, like, are people going to see my zipper? And that's something that I have noticed. So if you sit down in these pants and you know that maybe you're not using a zipper that matches, you may want to consider using a zipper that does match, because people are going to see it when you do sit down. So one thing I will say is that these pockets are super deep. When I took the pictures, I had sunglasses in one pair of the pockets that I actually forgot were there. And then I had my clicker in another pocket. And when I was driving to the actual place that I go to take pictures a lot, my phone was in my pocket. So the pockets on the front are extremely deep. I consider them extremely functional. If you're someone where you need to run out and go to the store and you just like to keep like the little mini wallet with you and you want to just put that in your pocket, these are the pants to do that, because the pockets are extremely, extremely deep. The other thing I want to share with you that I don't think I actually realized until I started making it is that these pants, or these pockets right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, actually have gussets on them. So that does add to the pattern pieces, but it does also add to the overall function and essentially 3D effect that these pockets have. So at first I was like on the fence, like, do I want to use the gussets? And I actually didn't cut out the gussets at first, which is another reason why my gussets are a different color as well. But then when I started realizing the actual effect that it could have on the way that the pockets lie, I was like, okay, I actually need these gussets because I do want that 3D effect. So I say that if you want like a flatter pocket look, you can avoid using the gussets, and therefore it's not, as many pattern pieces. But if you want that 3D look, you do have to go that extra mile, make the gusset and whatnot. And this was actually my first time using gussets on a pocket, and it was, I don't want to say it was hard, but it was an extra step I've never done before. So therein lies that. So fun fact about these pants, I did use a bed sheet to make mine, which means that I pretty much had like a set amount of fabric. Like whatever fabric I had, there was no way I could really go back and get any more. Like that was it. It was a flat sheet. So, and it was thrifted. So I ran out of fabric halfway through, which is not halfway through, but I ran out of fabric while I was cutting. And so I was trying to be extremely mindful with my fabric as to, okay, I know to cut the pant pieces and then I'll work on the pockets. And I knew which pockets I kind of wanted to make. So I pretty much based my yardage off of that, or my cutting style off of that. And so I would say, like, if you know that you don't have the approximate amount of yardage that you need for your fabric, I would start maybe thinking about those design elements that you could sacrifice in order to make the pants work. And these pants are actually very good for color blocking, which I know I always mention that in a lot of my pattern reviews, but it is really true in a lot of ways. So the front actually, let's look at this. Let's look at the line drawing here. So each pant leg in the front is 2 pieces. Same for in the back, 2 pieces. So your pants are really 8 pieces of fabric if you're just putting the legs together. And then the pockets. I've seen a lot of people, myself included, when they make the gusset, they make it a different color. I've seen people do like an entire print on these pants and then like maybe block all the pockets. Or I've seen people do a solid and then they do a complete print on the pockets alone. And then you can even play with texture too. So say if you have denim, and then if you want to do corduroy, or if you want to do a linen, there are things like that. I'm even considering possibly either making another pair. So I'm going between either, do I want to do like an all black pair, which I think would be cute, or do I want to do like a color block denim, which I think would be really nice, but I have to really consider how often I would wear that. because I just don't own anything like that. And so it would be a little bit out of my comfort zone, but I actually think that that's a really nice idea for anyone who's interested in doing that. One thing I will say about this pattern that I actually really like is that it is feminine, even though they are baggy, and it's all about in how you style it. Like, I styled mine with like a tighter shirt. I've seen people style it with other shirts very similar to this, and I've seen people style it with hoodies, but different types of hoodies as well. And I still think that this gives off a feminine air. I actually saw one lady, I forget her name on Instagram, but she paired hers, like, it was, y'all, it was nice. It was like she took a Vogue pattern, cut the top off of it. It was a Vogue dress, so you know this is nice. She cut the top and the skirt off because she said she never wore it, added a brooch, and then made the pants the same color as the top. Like, I'm gonna see if I can find a picture of her and I'm gonna put it up, because that right there, I was like, that's fire. And that's how you make this your own. And I think that's why a lot of people are really drawn to this pattern, because you can really make this your own, y'all. Like, make it your own. Don't let those pattern pieces bother you. I know people have been talking about it's a lot of pattern pieces, blah, 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 blah. But these are so nice. Just do it, y'all. Just do it. Just do it. My modifications outside of omitting some of the pockets, I actually didn't do the ties at the bottom, even though I cut them out, because I wasn't sure what ties they were talking about when I was cutting out the pieces. I was like, this could be the tie for the waistband, this could be the tie for the bottoms. I was like, I'm just gonna cut it. So I will say, like, I actually didn't do any sort of elastic or any sort of ties at the bottom, and I want to say this is because of my height. I find that sometimes those pants can really make me feel like a genie in a bottle type thing. And I didn't really want to feel that way. I kind of wanted to feel a little bit more mature and grown up. So for me personally, I actually just kept them straight leg without putting any sort of elastic. And I actually did, normally I have to take off like 6 inches off of my pants and skirts with Big 5, but with this pattern I actually only took, I actually didn't take off anything. I literally did a 2-inch hem. So I did 1 inch, I folded it over, and then I folded it over another inch, and that was my 2-inch hem. So I didn't cut anything off of that, and it worked perfectly. And I want to say that the reason why I didn't have to cut was because these do typically have ties at the bottom, and it was probably the pattern was more than likely drafted for that, but because I decided to keep it straight, I probably didn't have to cut off that much. All right, you guys, I want to thank you so much for coming and watching this video. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button and also hit subscribe. And if you're not following me already, you can follow me at Raven Maureen on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. I'll see you next time. Bye.